What's up, Sussex Squad? I'm so happy that you're here. I missed you guys. I hope you're doing well in whatever corner of the world you're in. I hope that you're feeling peaceful and calm. I hope that you're feeling joy inside yourself, inside your spirit. Guys, so you guys all know that I really did not get into the Sussexes because I didn't feel like I needed to kind of come to their aid and be a voice for them until September because I didn't really know much about them. And so I'm looking at all of this content. I know I'm late, but you guys know that I binge watched all of the Harry and Meghan Lifetime movies. I like Lifetime even though it's cheesy, whatever. And I wanted to talk about the second movie, Becoming Royal. So we'll do a little bit of a recap, less of a recap, more of kind of just a review, and I would love to know what you guys think. So we know that on the movie prior to that, and I'm looking down because I'm looking at my tablet just to remember the storyline of the movie. So we know that the last movie left off on Harry and Meghan wanting to get married, setting aside basically all of the roadblocks in the way and the trials and the tribulations to come together and really to fight for their love, right? And I think that Lifetime did a great way of showing that. Again, it's not an Academy Award winning movie. It's not an A-list, actor list, but there's simplicity, there's authenticity, there's sweetness, there's warmness in it. And it really does capture, I think, the emotion that was between Harry and Meghan in the movie. We come in and we have different actors, first of all. Now, we know from the past movie that Meghan was just sort of being her outgoing, bright, fun-loving self, but also her humanitarian self, the independent woman that she is. And the other senior royals, the firm, and the UK, a lot of the trolls, the trashy tabloids, they took that and spun it like she was some disrespectful person, like she was indignant, like she was arrogant, like she was pompous and egotistical, but that really wasn't what it was. So we left off on that. Then we go into the wedding. This is where, Meghan is sort of having to adopt this new role that she's never ever had in her life. And a lot of people are definitely not making that easy for her to do. We also have that other level of her not being safe. Harry sees history repeating. He sees the same thing that happened to his mom happening to Meghan, and he's scared, okay? He's scared and he wants to protect Meghan. So that the first kind of, I would say I'm really glad what this movie showed us. The first kind of indicator that we were dealing with systemic prejudice that was embedded institutionally in the UK that Meghan sort of flagged, but she really got lashback for, was the community cookbook, okay? So I really like that the movie talked about the community cookbook in here, and I like that they talked about the Vogue cover because those are things that are just good stuff. It's good people, good stuff. The community cookbook, Meghan collaborated with some women who were markedly dressed in hijabs that were clearly of Arabic descent, and she was definitely showing, hey, I'm supporting this community that's marginalized, and she wanted to show pictures with these women that she had built a bond with on the cover, whereas the firm wanted her to only show pictures of food and fruit and stuff. In the end, I like that she kind of speaks up for herself and she's like, you know what, I really want to show what I intended to do with this. The Vogue cover got taken totally out of context. As someone who works in advertising myself, publishing wise, I thought it was a brilliant idea for her to put these really influential women on the cover of Vogue and then to put a mirror on there so that the viewer could see themselves. That right there is ingenuity, ideas, creativity that many, many big companies are willing to pay lots of money for. I mean, speaking as someone who's worked on $1 million marketing campaigns, advertising campaigns, companies are willing to pay for that, but sometimes they're not willing to pay for the person who is producing that idea, that persona that it's coming from. I thought it was beautiful, but of course that got taken out of context. They talk about her poo hat, her emoji poo hat, and they also, something I thought was really interesting in the movie was how Kate was depicted. Now, I think in the movie, they kind of are showing that Kate and Meghan had a friendship to a certain extent, which I think that I'm definitely in agreement with that. I think that there was friendliness between them, but they were coming from very, very, very different playing grounds. I mean, Kate is a reserved personality. She's not sticking up for charities and causes that are so out and vocal. She had learned, I guess, through the training that she had sort of got from her family, being introduced into these upper echelons and circles, to not do that. And she'd also learned from her role. And she basically, well, at least the way the movie portrays, Kate is coming to Meghan from a place of, listen, I've been through this, I've been there, I'm just trying to give you a heads up. And Meghan is coming from a place of like, this is just me. This is just me. You know, you see how clashes can happen when that comes. But I will say, I think that they showed kind of the snobbiness of William quite well. I think that William, basically, the character who plays William, we can see that he's less interested in Meghan as a person. He's less interested in really seeing Harry spend his life with Meghan. You know, he sees her as a dalliance. He sees her as not good enough, you know, and I think that the movie kind of portrays that accurately. As far as Kate, you know, just reading from what I've read, looking at the Harry and Meghan documentaries, I don't think that Kate was just ultra friendly, and you know, she was just that way because she had been sort of trained to be sort of that docile and sort of sober female personality that doesn't ruffle the feathers. You know, I think that maybe that's one part of the movie that was a little problematic for me. I think that maybe they didn't get too much into the real, that there was a high possibility that Kate was very threatened by Meghan and very jealous of her, envious and a jealousy, green-eyed monster, all of that kind of nasty, you know, that baser human nature stuff. I really think that the movie probably could have pushed that a bit more, but I know that they want to be sort of PC. So we kind of go throughout the movie, and you know, the planning of the wedding is happening. It's super stressful. We also see from the public, you know, we get a glimpse into the eye that the public is not completely happy about Harry marrying Meghan, and slowly, that anxiety from Harry builds up. He sees history repeating itself. And I think that the movie shows quite well, again, even though it's not extremely, you know, it's rudimentary. It's not an Oscars, but it's not an Oscars type movie. But I do think that they show that Harry was torn, antagonized inside of his person because he saw history repeating itself. We also have our Good Day UK people on there. They are being really nasty, and you know, I also thought that Charles and Camilla sort of characters were interesting. In the first movie, I thought that they portrayed Charles and Camilla as quite sort of parental and caring. But from what I've seen, they've been quite oblivious, quite tone deaf to what Harry and Meghan have gone through. The only person that I think really understands what Harry and Meghan is going through in a very real and tangible way, and is also there for them, giving them the type of support they need, is Doria. I love that the movie really shows that Doria embraces Harry as her own son. And Doria, in such, I mean, she reminds me of my mom in some ways. In some ways, very subtle, not yelling, not screaming, not overpowering. She's guiding her daughter so that her daughter has peace of mind. I love the fact that they integrate Doria in that way to show that she is a driving force in Meghan's life. I think that it's really nice that we see, you know, just this metamorphosis of the Sussexes coming into royalty, because I think they named this movie quite well, Becoming Royal, because it wasn't just a one-step type thing. This is stuff that happened over years, and Meghan, I mean, it was a rocky road. It was a rocky road. Then we get towards the end, and the lady from Good Day UK, she has had enough of the horrid Piers Morgan type character, you know, and she sort of says, no, I'm not going to let you, you know, antagonize this woman and be totally inappropriate and drag me into it. And she speaks up for herself, and I think that was definitely a message from Lifetime. Lifetime is a channel primarily geared towards women. And what have we seen throughout this whole debacle? A division of women, you know? This has it's such a polarizing issue that it has divided women. You know, after that, they sort of carry on and get ready to start this life together and transition into this new period. Although the family is still kind of as cold fishy as they were before. You know, we also see a scene with Diana. I think they portray Diana quite well. And, you know, it just follows that timeline of them integrating fully with one another. And the next movie sort of shows where it breaks and they got to get out of there. So we'll be back for the last movie, Escaping the Palace. We'll talk about that. In the meantime, I would love to know what you guys thought of it. If you've seen it, if you're interested in seeing it, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, it's not like Oscars worthy filmography, cinematography, whatever, but it's nice. It's nice. I thought it was nice. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. If you're new on this channel, please do me a favor. Hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell so you know whenever I post a video. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.